Oh, welcome back to the best podcast out there. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. 1497 podcast, baby. You know the vibes. It's your boy Jonathan Keaton, and back is the special guest that we had a while conversation. Parker C. Pierre is in the house. Arkansas State men's basketball player. I'm gonna let you do the intro. I'm gonna let you do your own intro.
What's good? There we go.
Come on, come on.
No, I'm back on the show. Amazing show. I highly recommend everybody to join in. Watch these every week? Is that what
Every
we're doing
week,
now?
two
Every week you join in. He's got some
episodes.
amazing content. I highly recommend it.
Come on. There's a lot. There's actually a lot to talk about because the NBA trade deadline that was crazy.
That was wild.
LeBron becoming the all-time greatest scorer. That's crazy. I saw that shit live too. It was like it was
No,
so
I'm a
nice.
LeBron hater.
Who's your goat then?
My goat's Michael Jordan. Always got to be Michael Jordan.
Okay, okay. I thought you were gonna say like some random shit. I thought you were gonna be because the most random I've heard from goat so far
Yeah.
is Kobe Bryant, which is like I can respect that,
Yeah.
but like
Kobe's not my number one. I mean,
yeah, number one either. But I feel like there's like people out there that would say like Hakeem Olajuwon is the goat.
eh,
Uh,
it's a little much for me.
but how about LeBron like hitting that
It's
shot?
it's history for real, and like I just thought it was super cool about the picture, with all the phones out, and it shows like the day and age we're in, because the MJ picture compared to LeBron picture is just totally different. So it shows that we're in a social media era, and just basically how far everybody has came along, and how basically that amazing jump shot. I mean, that's the best possible way for him to break the record. As much as I hate LeBron, I will say that is the best possible way to break the record.
Yeah, and Thomas Bryant was talking about it too. Thomas Bryant was like, I thought he was going to pass you the ball, and he
I
dead
mean,
ass got.
to totally be honest with you, Thomas Bryant had the best block out right there. I mean, if y'all just dump it off to me, you'd had a layup. So I think Thomas Bryant should have got the ball passed to him more. It's a higher field goal percentage shot, but LeBron, go get your shots.
Yeah, you got to give it to him every once in a while. And against Oklahoma City Thunder too. Like what a way to set a record against what like the 11th or
And it
12th
was a
seed.
home game. I mean, he had that in the back of his mind, like I want to break this at home because going on the road. I mean, it'd mean a lot, but when it's at home, your home fans, it always means more.
And that's what me and my friend were talking about, or me and my friends were talking about, because he thought that, or they thought, I should say, that he was going to break in Milwaukee because it'd be more special because Kareem Abdul-Jabbar
I could
he
see
played
that.
in Milwaukee and then he won his first championship in Milwaukee. So they're like, it would definitely mean a lot more if you were to did it in a hostile environment in
That's a good
Milwaukee.
point. I mean, to be honest with you, it's such a historic moment at any location to be good. I mean, you could play it wherever you want to, and that shot's going to mean craziness. I mean, who would have thought that record be broken? I mean, I never dreamt of that, ever happening. I mean, they always said, it was one of those unbroken scoring records because, like, who's going to break that? But in all honesty, LeBron deserved it. I don't like LeBron, but I could say he deserved it. He's worked his butt off his entire career for it.
Now, when you didn't like, or I don't know why I said didn't, or
Yeah.
you didn't. So when you don't, or let me best way I can. So what was your breaking point of all right, I hate this dude. Like I can't root for this dude.
Being a Grizzly fan my whole life, just every time we play him, it's like we're either gonna lose or he's gonna drop about 40. So I mean, like that, and just like I was a real big MJ fan growing up. I always watched the old videos, the movies, everything about MJ. So I was always an MJ fan. And when people started comparing him to MJ, I'm like, all right, hold up. Like that's really the reason. I mean, off the court, he's a great guy. Always doing great stuff in the community. And I just think basically the whole MJ comparison. If you wouldn't compare him to MJ, I wouldn't have any problem with him. But like when you start comparing him to the GOAT, the real GOAT, we start having issues.
And I was looking at something off of ESPN, and that's really interesting. And they were talking about instead of like calling people the GOAT, you would just call them the greatest of their time era.
No, I saw
And
that, and I agree with that because it went. Was it? I'm trying to think who it was. I know it was MJ and LeBron were both on there, but I think they skipped Kobe in the era because there's a
mm,
Kobe era too in there.
so for the '80s, right? Because it
Mhm,
was dominated by Larry and Magic.
mhm.
That's how the NBA really got back on track.
Yeah,
Who would you give like if we were to do this in the '80s? Who would you give it to, Magic Johnson or Larry Bird?
that's hard. I guess I would go Magic. I don't know. I think both of them really expanded the love of basketball because I don't really think you could put it on one for that era because this era is pretty well known as LeBron.
Hmm.
But there, I think you could put two in that category and be totally fine with it
I think so too, because like it's the same thing for the '70s with Oscar Robinson and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
for real. I think Kareem has Oscar beat a little bit, but I mean, at the end of the day, I think that we should stop saying there's one person that's the best player because in the game of basketball, we all know it takes five players on a court. I mean, there may be really good players out there, a star player, but looking at today's NBA, how many stars can you think of? I mean, I can name you 10 off the top of my head, and you can have a debate for them either winning an MVP or being the best player in this time or winning a championship. I mean, like the game of basketball, it's hard to pick one player. I really think that if we, took the there's one good player, then it would make the game of basketball a lot better, in my opinion. I think it's good for the debates, but I think it's bad for the game of basketball.
I think so too, because it really takes away the other four, five, whatever, however deep, however
Mm,
deep your team is, because you can be like, oh, John Morant is like the key reason why the
that's my favorite
Grizzlies
player.
won won the NBA, like this NBA playoff series.
Yeah,
And then you look at it and you're like, well, no, he didn't, because Desmond Bain hit three critical shots in the
yeah,
late fourth quarter. Steven Adams had one great block in the fourth quarter. And it's rare too because no one is not really in a LeBron esque situation that's
mm,
winning right now, like he was with the Cavs. And a lot of people would bring up the competition that he had, but it's
mm.
still hard to
I think the
go that
competition's
way.
always been good.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that they pull up, the videos of back way back playing basketball, like the beginning of it. But I mean, the game's gonna evolve. So I mean, I think every generation had about the same level of difficulty. Do I think MJ and LeBron had the same level of difficulty? I do. I see people saying like MJ didn't have to play against all these guys; he played against them, and I'm like, come on, you know what I mean? It kind of bothers me when they start saying that because the game evolved. There's different training techniques. There's different like the shot machine, that passes it back to you. I mean, there's a lot of things that have made basketball easier to get better. So I really think that's a key right there.
Played a part. And the
Mhm.
reason I'm bringing that up is because you brought up the shot machine. So if you go back to the '90s and '80s, they didn't really have an advanced shot machine as you do now, or they don't really have like TikTok, Instagram influencers that
Mhm.
can really help you with one part of your game. Like now we have Lethal Shooter,
Oh yeah.
where I feel like you could hit up Lethal Shooter, and Lethal Shooter would be like, okay, let's work out here. Or there's this guy, he's becoming more popular. His name is like JPQ Basketball,
Mhm.
and he is amazing, amazing at basketball. And he has a camp, or not a camp, he has like a facility in Florida
Mhm.
where kids can go, they can work out, they can get better at basketball. And he posts on Instagram all the time of like tips and stuff on
Yeah.
how to play at the college level, how to play at the professional level. And we have so much of that to
True.
where it makes the grind a lot easier, but
Very
it's
true.
still to that point because like
Good.
it's like 0.1% making it to the NBA. But
Mhm.
like back in the day, it was harder to find the influence,
I feel that.
the resources to grind because you really had to be lucky. It's like, oh, this guy casually
Mhm.
owns the Detroit Pistons. Let me
That's
drop
very true
20 real
because
quick.
like you could see these gyms popping up out of nowhere too. Like, there's always these little like what do you call them? I don't even know. There's like a lot of like AAU facilities now popping up out of nowhere. Like they'll turn an old warehouse into a 3-court gym, and you're like, didn't expect that happening. It's just random. But I really think the game of basketball is where it needs to be, and I think it can continue to grow, as the years go on. But the game of basketball has seen, major, major. There's a lot of influence for it, and I think that really just helped because me growing up as a kid, I saw it everywhere. I didn't have to go and look for it. It was on my phone. When I went out, people talk about it. Where see kids at school with the jerseys on, and there's no way to not know who certain NBA players are. Like, I think we can make a poll right now and go up into random people in public and ask them if they know who LeBron James is. It just shows how the game, is so it's so much more now because of how it's grown.
I agree. I agree with that 100% because with fashion being a big part of today's world,
Mhm.
you can have someone come up to you and just talk about, let's say they're talking about the road, right? They're pissed off that the road is created the way it is, right? But they're wearing a jersey, they're wearing a Steven Adams jersey.
Yeah,
And if you actually watch basketball, you're like, holy snap, like you got a Steven Adams Oklahoma City Thunder jersey? Like,
for real.
man, like he was so like he was nice with it when
And
he
it
was
gives you
on.
memories too. If you see like an older jersey, you're like, I remember watching him with this person.
Exactly.
It just brings back memories too. And I think that's why sports are so, important for us and that they've grown so much is because, you have memories of watching it with certain people, people that may not be here anymore, like with the grandparents or, parents, however it is, friends. And I think that's why sports mean so much because, your generations, passed on what team they like. So then you carry on that legacy of, oh, I love this team. And then your kids can do it. So, I mean, the game's just going to slowly, get more and more, fans, which is where we're at today. It shows, the MJ era, all the fans watching that. And it carried over, in my opinion, because all I heard about was basketball growing up because people, that would have, been influencing me were MJ fans, and then it went to Kobe fans, and then here we are with LeBron fans. So I hope the next player that was in that category is Ja Morant. So if
I
he
feel
if
like
he can be a Grizzly player and be in that category, I promise you, I'll be super happy.
if John run like within the next 3 years and they get to the finals within the next 3 years, he'll be on the same level as like the Marc Gasols, the Tony Allens,
I
the
think he's
Zach
already there.
Randolphs.
I know that sounds crazy. I think Ja's already there because just being close enough to Memphis. I go to Memphis any like every month or so. Just being in that area, you can feel, the we're like more excitedness for Memphis basketball, like Memphis Grizzly basketball, because the fans are more involved. You can't find tickets anymore. Like at one point when we were losing, you could get tickets for $5. Like they would pay you almost to go to the games. So I mean, looking now, and if I want to go to a Grizzly game, it's more difficult because you have to find tickets and the parking's more expensive. It's just basketball for the Grizzlies. They're making a lot of money right now, and it's mostly Ja Morant. I mean, if Ja wasn't there, who knows what Memphis basketball would be?
I think Memphis basketball, that's an interesting question. That is a very interesting question. If John Grizzly right now, where would the Grizzlies be? I think of the Grizzlies as right now they're the Detroit Pistons, the bad boy Pistons. They
I can see
love
that.
to talk. It could be about anything. They will find a way to talk shit.
Oh,
And I
100%.
love it because it brings another perspective in the game, and it's interesting to watch because you're like, whoa, okay, now they're
What are they
talking
gonna say
back and
now?
forth. Exactly. It's like, what are they going to say now? Is he going to play good, or is that going to affect him because he's trying to figure out what he's going to say? Now, problem, I wouldn't even say it's a problem because a lot of people are like, well, they talk shit and they don't win. deep down, I'm like, keep on talking shit, keep on
I
doing
know,
that.
and the thing
I
is,
enjoy it.
when people say they're not winning, we're second in the West right now, a few games back from the Nuggets for first, and they're like, "Well, they haven't won a championship." That's understood, but we're what 3 years into our rebuild? Like we rebuilt 3 years ago. We had actually it might be four now. I don't know. We had Mike, Mark, and the core four they called it. Mike, Mark, Zach, and Tony, and like rebuilding from that and having to trade everybody away and what we did in a short amount of time is really incredible. It's a huge shout out to our management, our front office. They did a great job at rebuilding. Like who would have thought, the picks that we got back would turn into what they are, or the second rounders that we had, or the late first rounders, where we could pick up a Desmond Bain at 30. Like he was the 30th pick in the draft. And then we picked up, Brandon Clark late. We picked up Jaw second, and we picked up Jaren 4. I mean, I would love to have Luka or Trey Young instead of Jaren right now, but Jaren's, shown that he's Defensive Player of the Year, and I think if we would have drafted Luka or Trey, we wouldn't have Ja Morant. So either way, at the end of the day, I think the Memphis management has done a great, great job at rebuilding this team and putting together the right pieces.
With John Morant's athleticism, and let's say as a Grizzly fan, the ownership goes, Parker, you can take over and you get whoever you want, right? What player are you going out to get to mesh up with Ja and the rest of the team?
Would I have to make a trade, or I just get to pick a player to be on the team?
You just get to pick a player. In some,
Giannis.
ooh,
The reason
ooh,
I'd pick Giannis is I think the Grizzlies would be absolutely unstoppable. And the second player I would have gone there was Stephen Curry. Just because I think his shooting around Ja Morant would absolutely be unguardable. But I think Giannis would be a better fit for us. Just because I think him and Ja on the same team would be unstoppable either way. And I think it would be huge, for us to have, that I don't know. Giannis is a great leader, and he's already got a championship. So around him with Ja, and I think they could work together. And I think we would go 78-4.
the only thing I would worry about is the shooting, but
But I mean, you can't guard Giannis and Ja on the same court. Like, how are
yeah,
you going to double team Ja, or are you going to double team Giannis, or are you going to double team both of them? And then one player's guarding three NBA caliber players. I mean, you could have anybody else on the court.
like
You could put some sixth graders out there.
the only thing that I could see working is a zone,
I
but
don't know how you can run a zone on Giannis and Ja though,
it'd
because
be
they both.
hard.
Eh, I don't
Uh,
know. I just like the Giannis Ja combo. Or hold on, didn't think about this one. Kevin Durant, Ja Morant.
mm, Because like with the zone, the more and more you think about it, zones are defeated off of shooting, right?
True.
So you have Brandon Clark that is a really good 3-point shooter. I think he's shooting around like 36, 37%. So it's not the best, but it's not the worst.
So I mean, there are shooters on the Grizzlies. So I mean, like, I know your star players aren't known as shooters, but I think it would be still huge um, to have Giannis. But when I go back to the Kevin Durant conversation, I know the Grizzlies made a trade proposal. I can't speak for Kevin Durant this summer. I don't know if you saw that.
Now,
It was
what
a
was it?
article out on Bleacher Report that the Grizzlies trying to make a trade for Kevin Durant even at the deadline. And they said the rumor was, I think they said they gave up, like they offered 5 first rounders or something and like a few players. I wish that would have went through because could you imagine a team of Ja, Desmond Bain, Kevin Durant, Dylan Brooks, and let's say, I mean, did I say Jaren? I don't even think I said Jaren in there.
Mm-mm.
And then you have Steven Adams still there. You have Brandon Clark still there. Santi Aldama's playing really, really good right now. There's a lot, and then all of our rookies that aren't even playing. Like Kennedy Chandler's not playing for us right now. Kenny Lofton, Jake LaRavia, Luke Kennard just got traded to us. I mean, there's a lot. There's a lot of pieces there. John Conchar. So I think I just named the entire team.
You definitely did. I think you're missing like maybe 3, 4 players. But like you name some players that like you named John Kuchar I'm pretty sure people listening to this is like, who the fuck is John Kuchar?
He's been playing good, and they gave him like a 4-year extension.
Ooh,
I gotta think who I'm forgetting now because I usually who am I forgetting?
I,
Xavier Tillman.
yeah. A lot of people that would hurt in that name too was like, there's no way
Yeah,
there's a guy named Xavier Tillman in the NBA.
bro, no. I better be posted on their Instagram for calling out all of them.
Is he 38, 36?
I don't
No,
know
he
what he
can't
is.
be 38.
I don't know what he is.
Let me look that up. I gotta.
He
Cause I
played
was,
Michigan State.
he did.
Yeah,
Xavier Tillman. Okay. Oh my God, I was way off. He is 24 years old.
I don't even know how old he was. I thought you were talking
Pers-
about jersey number for a second, and I was like, I don't know what jersey number it is, but I knew he's kind of young because I remember we drafted him like 2, 3 years ago.
yeah, that's actually surprising to me because when he walked on, because I watched the Celtics game when I was on
Yeah,
ABC a couple
people say
weeks
he looks
ago.
older.
Yeah, he
What you're
looked
gonna
like
say?
he was 35, getting ready to go to Starbucks after the game.
Oh my.
But the fans want you to answer questions, and I kind of want
Uh-oh.
you to answer these questions too, because some of these questions are very
And you
intriguing.
didn't tell me any of these beforehand, so I don't know what any of these are.
I know that's the nature of suspense. I just love living on the edge
Let's
of
see
my
what they
seat.
got for me.
All right, so one fan. I mean, I already knew this question, like the answer
Mhm.
to this question to our previous conversation,
Oh
but
yeah,
I guess the fan didn't listen. So
okay.
I'm giving the fan a second chance to listen.
I got
What
you.
made you choose Arkansas State?
Well, I've been a Red Wolf fan my entire life. I grew up a Red Wolf. My parents went there, and I really, really enjoy the coaching staff and like how they, treat their players and how really their playing style and the way that they do everyday operations. I felt like it was perfect fit for me, and I felt that there was no other reason to go anywhere else, and I just got to stay, in my hometown of Jonesboro, Arkansas, and just continue to do what I love.
All right, another fan question. Or actually, not. This is an American question. Is it Arkansas or Arkansas?
Arkansas.
Do you get mad when people say Arkansas?
I don't really get mad. I'm just like, that's wrong.
So
Yeah.
like if someone came up to you, you're hooping at the gym and they ask you where you're from and you go Arkansas and they go Arkansas, you're not raising rage or anything.
Nah, I just look at them like, like this is really kind of confused. Although I'll probably let them keep going with it because I think it's kind of funny on the inside. But
I would definitely let them keep going. Just be like, oh yeah, like Arkansas is such a great place.
oh,
I remember one day, me and my friend were joking, like we always joke around, and we're like,
oh,
oh, we're gonna go to Arkansas one day. And it got so bad to the point where when I was actually trying to say Arkansas, I kept on saying Arkansas.
I feel that.
Yeah, it was a
No,
very,
you just got it stuck in your head.
yeah, it's like a TikTok song. It's just never left my head, even though I wanted it to leave my head. Anywho, how long have you been playing basketball? I wish I had the fan's name under these questions and make it
That would
more
be kind of cool
intriguing.
because we could shout them out.
Exactly.
Well, I've played basketball since I want to say 2, 3. I
What?
mean,
Huh?
I started playing like serious basketball though in 3rd grade and 4th grade. Like that's when my AAU days picked up, and I played, for some really good coaches and some programs that are huge in the state of Arkansas and in the country. I played for the Wings Elite when I first got started, which is a huge team to get started with. They're multi, national champions. They had players like Jason Tatum, Malik Monk, Bobby Portis, Austin Reeves, Shea Gildas Alexander. Like they had some players, and like Dusty Hannah's trying to think who else. There's a lot of really good players that played for the Wings. So I mean, I played for them to start out with. I got to see the older guys playing. Like I went to a practice, watched Malik Monk practice, and just seeing them, and you kind of like, well, if I'm already being picked up in 4th grade to play for this, really good team that travels the country, you know, I need to put in more work. So I had to continue working, and just that's why I really got started into it.
It's a raw feeling too, because you're around all these different types of players
Mhm.
that are on the same skill level are probably like better than you.
Mhm.
And if they're better than you, you're telling yourself, all right, I want to go out there and actually do this. Like,
Sure. And they
especially
were on the
top
older
40.
teams. So I was always in practice, practicing and like they'll be like, "Oh, you want to go watch practice?" We'll show up and these guys are just doing windmills between the legs. Like Malik Monk was crazy in high school. Crazy. If you ever have time, go back and watch it like YouTube of Malik Monk in high school.
Was it better than Jamal Crawford's high school highlight reel?
I don't know, but Malik was crazy in high school. Like he really made Arkansas basketball take off, like the state of Arkansas, just because like he was from here. He was one of our first players to go in the NBA. So like, and lived 30 minutes from where I live, maybe a little bit more, but it was like around 30 minutes. So like I always heard of him. He's always playing, around me and just I think Austin Reeves is up there for one of the best high school careers too. He scored like 70 something in a high school game and it was crazy. Now you got to look up Austin Reeves in high school too. He played our high school when I was young. I was like seventh, eighth grade, maybe even younger than that.
And
And I
it's
remember
cool.
he killed us.
It's cool too to like talk to them because obviously, like if you're seeing them every day,
Mm.
you're gonna get into some conversations. Like, oh yeah, there was one time I was just casually playing poker with Michael Jordan, not
Yeah,
because fun at his gambling addiction or
yeah.
anything. It was just the first thing that came in my head. I swear.
So like Austin Reeves, I'm pretty close with his brother Spencer, so I think that's kind of cool.
Oh,
His brother's playing. Spencer's playing overseas somewhere, but he can play too.
especially if you're playing overseas. I feel like overseas is the new G League.
Yeah, and overseas, there's a lot of good money to be made there. The game is just as good over. So it's like go over there, make some good money, and come back here and play later on. I mean, there's a lot of really, really good leagues.
Have you ever thought about playing overseas?
A little bit, but my career goals is to become an attorney, and being a sports agent. So like, a sports attorney, sports and entertainment attorney. And I feel like that would be the best for like what I want to do. And yeah, I've always wanted to be it.
Top five clients. If you were a sports attorney right now, top five clients that you would want.
That I got to pick.
Yeah.
LeBron James, Ronaldo. Trying to think who got the most money. Aaron Judge, um, John Morant because I like John Morant, and let's say who's young and are gonna make a lot of money. I gotta think of somebody.
This fifth spot is very important.
This is very important. There's a lot of money to be made here. Man, this is hard. Trying to think of like a young superstar that's gonna get a lot of money. Victor Wembanyama.
Ooh.
A lot of money to be made. He's going to be
Ooh.
paid crazy money. Can you imagine the salary cap when he's playing? And he's going to be probably one of the best players in the NBA.
I feel like within now this is going to be a scorching take, like hotter than Chicago on a summer day.
Mm.
I think Victor will make because how much is LeBron making right now? Like he's
I
making.
know LeBron hit $1 billion. He's the first, NBA player to make $1 billion.
I think with the way he's going popularity
Yeah,
wise and the way he's going marketing wise, he'll make half of that within his third year.
probably. And the thing is, like, you know, all clients are really, really good. So it's like, could you imagine those five together in the same agency? How much money that person would? That's just crazy. And like most people don't get in it for the money, so that's like why I wouldn't. But like either way, that would just be really cool to be around and some cool clients.
Yeah, even though you hate LeBron though, I feel like that'd be a lot of hostile in one
I
room.
would love LeBron then.
Be like, yo, even
I
though I
mean,
hate you as a player, but you're making me money.
and I mean, like I sort of don't want to hate LeBron because I'm sort of close with Mike Miller. He was my AAU. He owned our AAU team, and he played with LeBron. And I started talking a little bit of stuff. I was like, I don't like LeBron. He was like, well, you should. He got me 2 rings. So that's the running joke. It's like LeBron got me 2 rings. I'm like, you're right about that.
I feel like he said that with a stone cold face too.
Oh, he definitely did. Mike's a cool dude, but no, he definitely would have. And like just knowing him and just it makes it hard to hate LeBron.
I'm trying to imagine Mike Miller's face when he said Yeah, he got me those two
He probably
rings.
he definitely had a straight face though, knowing Mike.
He definitely did, and it
'Cause
was
I was
like
eating
a.
pizza when I asked him that question. I said something about LeBron. He was like, "He got me 2 rings."
I feel like it was one of those. It was kind of one of those like smart ass remarks. Was like, oh, he's talking shit about LeBron. All right, well, let me tell
He
him
loves
this.
LeBron. Like they're really, really close, and like I'm friends with his son, and his friend or his son grew up with Bronny and Bryce, so it's like they're basically family. They grew up together, so it's kind of funny.
Have you met Brownie and Bryce?
I never met Bronny and Bryce. Bronny, I saw him at an AAU tournament, and I was like, "What's up?" I didn't like fanboy or anything because I didn't
Hmm.
know like I thought we were gonna have to play him in the tournament, but they either one of our teams lost, so we didn't play each other in the finals. But
Yeah, you can't fanboy it.
it's hard to do
There's
when you're at a tournament though, and they're walking around with
yeah.
like overtime cameras around him and stuff.
Sometimes you wanna like get like in like a light skin mode and like start just like puckering your lips a little bit, like OT, OT, OT.
And
Nice, nice.
the thing with Bronny though is he has security everywhere he goes. So I mean, like just for me to say "What's up" was like getting around 3 security guards. Like we're walking across, and he's like walking by, and I'm like, "What's up?" That's But no, they have really good security because like somebody got in like a fight that weekend. I don't remember. And I remember he had like 3 security guards around him.
Yeah, and that's normal for a kid who's LeBron James. Funny story actually. So I'm with my friend at a DePaul versus Georgetown game, and
Mhm.
Patrick Ewing is the Georgetown coach. So in
Yeah.
my head, I'm like, okay, this is iconic. Like Patrick Ewing, Hall of Fame NBA basketball player who's tall as hell,
Mhm.
if I have to mention, or no, I do have to mention. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, this is the perfect opportunity to meet Patrick Ewing, right? Even though it might not happen, but
Yeah.
let's see where this goes. So in our arena, it's like a big circle. So on this half, it's the DePaul like lounge and like the DePaul locker rooms, and then
Yeah.
on the other side is the visitors locker room. So we walk all the way to the visitors locker room, and we could have just sat there and
Yeah.
just made them piss, made them more pissed than they already were. Holy
Mhm.
crap, I can talk right there. Anywho, so we go up to the coaches. We go, yeah, or I go, yeah, we're big Knicks fans. Making up bullshit.
Mhm.
We're big Knicks fans. We love Patrick Ewing since we're the age of like 2. Blah 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 blah. The guy goes, no, and we're like, okay, that's cool. So we walk away, and this assistant coach goes, don't ever do that again. And we're like, what? Like we could have just sat there and just been like, yo, what's up, Patrick? Instead of like we asked you if we can meet Patrick, and you said
Yeah.
no. And he did it while we were walking away too.
That's so weird.
I know.
No, just some celebrities, they don't really like getting out and talking to their fans, and I understand because they have like a lot to do and stuff, and it probably
Mhm.
gets like a little. I wouldn't say annoying because I love it,
Yeah.
but like I met like a bunch of celebrities. Some are really really nice, and some aren't at all.
What's the meanest celebrity you've ever met in your life?
That's a good question. Trying to think. Probably Scottie Pippen.
I heard Scottie Pippen's a dick.
I met him, and he's from Arkansas.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know if he's from here. I know he went to college at Central Arkansas,
Yeah, I knew that.
but no, I met him at Peach Jam.
You gotta go through the encountering of you and Scottie Pippen.
It
I
really
want to
wasn't
hear
much.
this.
It's just his son was playing in the same tournament, so I'm walking like in, and like it's by the concession stand. He's walking like towards the bathroom, and I was like, "Hey, can we get a picture?" And he's like, "No." It's like, okay. He just looked at me. He literally straight up went. I was like, "Can we get a picture?" He's like, "No." Just kept walking. It's like,
Alright, well,
okay.
okay, Scotty.
I don't want a picture anyways.
Yeah, the
I was just trying to be nice. I thought you wanted a picture with me.
yeah. I thought you wanted my autograph.
For real.
Jokes on you, Scotty. You can never get it.
I was so mad after that. I'm not gonna lie. It kind of ruined the rest of my day.
He gets a lot of backlash. Or nah, I feel bad for his son because like there's a lot of like things going on
Mhm.
with like their relationship,
Oh
not with
yeah.
him and his son, but like him and his wife, and then his wife dating like Michael Jordan's kid, or
The
like
whole thing's kind of
whatever.
crazy to me.
and then like I think she was like with like someone else too, and it's like, oh, jeez,
Yeah,
it's an evil world we live in, as Hoodville would say.
kind of crazy.
Yeah, I gotta figure out where Hoodville is from because that you know what Hoodville account is, right?
Mm-mm.
Oh my God, go follow Hoodville and read like every caption that he
Mm.
has. Shout out Hoodville if he gets across from this. Please just hit a follow button on the podcast. Anywho, funny as funny as fuck, funny as fuck.
Mm. I've never seen it, so I'm gonna go look.
Yeah, you got to. It's on the level Twitter of Twitter comments.
Oh my
As-
gosh.
So like, if you been on Twitter when like something like has gone on and you look
Uh,
at the comments, is as funny as those comments.
bet. I'm gonna have to go look.
So, anywho, you Mr. 4.0. So
You broke up for a second. You gotta say that one again.
I'm Chancellor's list,
Uh,
Mr. 4.0. So the it's got to feel good.
it felt good. I think that the hard work in the first semester of college really, really showed. Um, all the late nights staying up after practice and doing my schoolwork or going into study hall and getting my work in on time and keeping a 4.0 GPA was very, very difficult. But um, I did that while doing a fraternity, like rushing for a fraternity and playing basketball. So I was super, super busy. Plus doing student government. Um, so I was a freshman senator. So all of it, really showed the hard work in the first semester. So I was really proud that I could end up, on the chancellor's list.
That's hard because you're doing so many different things. But that's good to get involved like your first semester of college because you probably
It
met
was a
already
lot
so
though,
many great people. Yeah.
especially with my grandma dying in there too. I was so busy.
Because then you want like having all that stuff thrown on grief.
Mm,
It's hard to keep focused because you're like damn, like my grandma's
100%.
gone.
It was a lot, but no, I had really good people around me, made sure that I stayed, on track and people that worked with me, and just really good professors at ASU, Um, I would put our professors up against anybody in the country. I think we have some really good professors here, and administration all the way. I couldn't name you one bad person here on campus.
Your favorite person or your favorite professor at Arkansas State?
This is hard, but I'm gonna have to give a huge, huge shout out to Doctor Two, and I'll tag him on Facebook in this. And you got to write down what time I said this in the video because
30, I think you said it at 37
37.
51. It was either 37:51 or 37:50.
I'm
There you
gonna
go.
I'm gonna send this to him. But no, he's a great, great professor. He puts in a lot of extra hours. He makes sure that the first year students, are doing everything they need to. And he was really good because he does a lot of financial literacy stuff. So with him, being a great professor already, and then taking one of his financial literacy classes, it really, really helped. My knowledge of financial literacy, and it made us a lot closer. He always called me Crocs when I walked in. He'd be like, "Mr. Crocs are here. Why aren't you wearing your Crocs?" That type of stuff. So we were really, real close towards the end of the semester.
Now, you brought up Crocs. I've been waiting for my pairs of Crocs to be
My bad.
sent in the mail.
My bad.
But how's Crocs going for you
That
with
was
the
going good.
NIL?
I'm blessed to have all the NIL opportunities that I have. So, um, I'm just thankful for all of them. It's a dream come true to be able to do what I do.
Now, is there another NIL deal with Clarks or are they like
Well,
affiliated
I
with
have one of
Crocs?
them, but I'm working on another one. It's in the
Oh,
works. But Clarks are really, really good too. I really enjoy Clarks, and it's kind of one of those things like Crocs. I mean, how much better can you get than both of those? So I'm just super excited to be able to be a ambassador for their company.
now I'm gonna let you talk about now. Don't talk about it too much because I want to be surprised. I want to be
Uh,
like, oh, that NIL deal. So like,
uh,
what can you tell me
uh.
and everyone who's listening about your new NIL deal without spoiling who it is?
I mean, just I really can't spoil all the details because I have a few of them, inbox me every day about,
Ooh.
different NIL deals. So I try to pick the best, based on the company and based on like how much they're paying, what I got to do. So it's a lot of balancing, but I really try to go for the companies that, are good people, good companies, good at reaching out. Like, I don't want to just take it for the money. I want to be able to make sure that all assets are doing the best. So I have really good people around me looking, making sure that I have the best possible deals, and I'm not, picking any bad deals.
And that is right there. Not a lot of people would say that genuine response. And I want to talk about that a little bit because if Nike comes in and let's say they give you a $500 million deal for an NIL deal, 9 times out of 10, people are taking that deal, but they're not going to really look at, okay, well, Nike has gone through this, Nike has did that, Nike has
Mm,
did this, Nike has did that. And that's how it fools you a little bit. And the lies that's built
mm,
up, but it's kind of in a forbidden place,
yeah,
locked in a safe because, well, it's Nike. It's the most popular shoe
mm,
company, most popular sports apparel company in the world.
yeah.
And it's the same thing with like these other big corporations where, okay, it's nice to work at, but like when you're really inside of it, it's like, whoa, 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 like I'm not getting treated this way. This other
Mm.
person's getting mistreated. Then you have that unbalance of everything that's going on. So that was a really good, genuine response. I like that
I'm glad.
response.
No, I was just speaking from the heart.
That's good. That's good. Cause like a lot of people once they see Adidas
Mm,
signing, Nike signing, top are all the top shoe deals or
mhm.
whatever they're signing without even looking at it, and it
I
shows.
read every detail. I get my parents, I get, my people around me, agents, different people, just not agents, but like people in my corner, like brothers, my grandparents before they passed, my aunts, my uncles. I really get everybody's opinion on them before I do it, just because I think the more people that see it and read the details, they'll be able to be like, "Hey, Parker, this is good for this reason, but this is bad. You may want to make a phone call and see if they can change it." That type
And
of stuff.
the NIL does a good, or actually, no, I'll say this because like I have my pushback with the NIL,
Mhm,
with them taking majority of athletes' money and like giving them a little percentage
mhm,
of the money that they earn off their name. It kind of brings back to what the NCAA was doing before.
mhm,
But when you read the fine print and when you're reading everything, and you have all the agents around and you have all these resources, it
mhm,
makes everything a lot easier because then you're understanding the word of what truly an asset is or a
mhm.
financial loss is because it's broken down in so many different ways and you're letting it marinate in your head in so many different ways.
That's why that financial literacy class my first semester really helped me, like budgeting and putting your money in different savings, and just that's why I'm super proud, to be able to say I passed Dr. Two's class with an A.
Dr. Tooth, like Tooth, Dr. Tooth.
EEW, two.
Mm, mm.
But do we have
Mm.
any more fan questions?
Oh, we got a lot more. That
Oh,
just
I thought I
that
only had like 3 fans. I was like,
no, 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 no. You got more than 3 fans.
okay, good.
The next question is why do you talk to the fans as much as you do?
Because I was one of those fans. Just a few years back, I always grew up an A State fan, and I was always that kid that asked for autographs or whatever. So, I mean, if I can give back to one kid and make their day, I know exactly what it feels like because I was there. So, I really just like giving back to the community and, just doing things in the community that I always wanted to do and that always, older people did to me, when I was a fan, like, before I was playing at A State.
You love helping out the community, which is ironic because the next question goes, why do you give back to these charities?
Same thing. I really, like to help people in need, and I've always been taught, to help others. So, I'm a big Christian, and the thing, they tell you is to love one another as you love yourself. So, like, um, or love your neighbor. I said that wrong, but either way, but love your neighbor as you would love yourself. So I'm just saying, like, just the way I was raised, the way I like to give back, and like I'm working with one company, or not one company, one charity right now, Darby's Warrior Support, and it's like post veterans. They bring them out on fishing trips, and they bring them, out to hunt, and they feed them for the weekend. They just let them talk about, their war stories and stuff like that, for mental health reasons. And um, that was a big charity in my mind because my mom's a mental health therapist, and I just thought, what's a better way than trying to raise money that for, our veterans, that protect us.
Now, you're talking about raising awareness and you're talking about giving out help. And I know the bunch of playmakers that you have played with benefit from you always hitting these shots because you can shoot the ball. So a fan popped up and asked, and I wanted to ask this too. How did you become such a good shooter?
Lots and lots of reps. I had really good, coaches, from all the way from my dad rebounding for me, my mom rebounding, my brother giving me the hard truth when I didn't want to hear it, just telling me, your jump shot needs to be fixed, or this isn't working, so you need to get in and work on it. So, um, and I had a really good AAU coach, or coaches. One would be Greg Wilson. He coached me on the wings team when I was little, so we did lots of shooting with him, and just being around Mike Miller. I mean, you automatically come better at shooting the basketball when you're around an all-time, great shooter. So just all those people being around me, making sure I'm getting my work in, and then also being at Arkansas State now, we focus a lot on shooting and practicing. So it's like I'm always in the gym, I'm always shooting. So lots and lots of reps.
AAU does a really good job at giving players the platform to really showcase their skills because
100%.
you're not playing against it's different than high school
Oh,
organizational
it's so much
basketball.
better than high school.
Yeah,
It's
and
hard to
that's
get
why
recruited out of high school, so you have to play
exactly.
elite.
And it's a thing to talk about because that's becoming the new wave of getting recruited and like playing for your high school team is like, well, this is not going to really benefit me
Mhm.
because I'm not going to really get recruited unless my name is already top tier. Like
Yeah,
if you're Bronny, you can just walk in on a high school basketball floor
oh,
and
100%.
still get recruited. So you coach AAU and you've been around AAU, you've been to Peach Jam, you've been all to these big name tournaments. So how is that experience?
I mean, it's awesome. I'm a huge, huge fan of AAU. I think AAU is one of the best things that's going on right now. And um, I just, I like being around it still, just being around, like helping the youth, getting them to where they need to be. Um, I really just like to, help the game of basketball because I feel like, that's the next generation to play. And, I want them to be where we were or even better. So I love to give back. And if I can do that in any way possible, I will do it.
Now, how long have you been coaching AAU?
So I haven't started coaching yet. I got
Hmm.
asked recently to coach a team, and um, I've done a lot of little trainings here and there with some local kids that asked me to get in the gym with me because I'm like, listen, you can come work out with me because I never do training sessions where it's just like me out there just telling them what to do. I'm gonna get in there and do a workout with them. So I mean, that's really not training; it's really me just working out with them. So um, yeah, so it'll be a first time for everything, I guess. First time coaching, but I think our team's gonna be very, very good. I don't go in to lose.
I hope not. I hope not.
No, we can't lose.
You can't. You gotta win every single game. If you lose one, it'd be a disappointment of a
Or
season.
what did MJ say? He never lost a game. He just ran out of time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There you
I'm gonna
go.
start saying that.
Yeah. Do you go in your press conference interviews, go, how did you lose that game? Well, we didn't lose. We just
Or
ran
you
out of
tell them,
time.
or you say they made more baskets we did. When you shoot the ball and it goes in, um, that's called a basket, and they made more of those than we did.
Yeah, hopefully you're not like Bobby Knight and like throwing like chairs across the room and tearing up locker rooms and
I
everything.
can't throw a chair across the room right now. I gotta. Yeah,
How'd you what happened?
I broke my wrist, or they said shattered it. I went up for a layup and I got fouled, and I came down, and this part of my wrist went through the top, like right up here. So I had to get 9 screws and a plate put in, but it's on my left hand, so it's not my shooting hand, so we should be good.
Oh, that's good. I mean, you still got to teach yourself how to shoot lefties, so you can
Yeah, I
go
gotta
in that
work on
game,
that.
go
Gotta
in
make
and
it a
get
little
a
difficult.
bird. But yeah, that's nice.
So, do we have any other questions, or is that?
Now
I feel like we're missing. Are we missing any?
we do. We have one more, and a person asked, "What workouts can I do to become a better shooter?"
Well, I mean, there's all kinds of workouts you can do. I used to do the Stephen Curry drill, they called it, and you have to hit a shot. You could hit either one or two shots at every. There's five spots outside the 3 point line. The corner, the wing, the top of the key. Wing and then corner, and you hit one at each spot and you time it. So you give yourself like 2 minutes or 3 minutes, and after you make the five shots, you got to go one, two, three, four, five. After you make all five spots, you go to the middle of it, or you can shoot wherever, and your time starts as soon as you start, like the original. So you have like a minute left or something like that, and you got to make as many threes as you possibly can before the time goes out, and you time it, and you do it every single day, and just see how much better you got.
What's the best that you've ever shot
I don't
from
even
that
remember.
drill?
I don't know. I'm like, I can't even think. Because I usually change it up. So like, you just make a self goal. Like if you're making one on each spot, and you got like a minute 30 left. Go back and make two at each spot to make it a little bit more difficult. Where you're just making three, four, or five shots in there. It's really about yourself
Hard work, dedication. Parker, see it,
always.
Pierre.
Be better than you were yesterday.
Mm, you should be a poet on the side. I can see
Should.
that. Now, since we're talking about side quests, what are your goals, your career goals? I sound like an academic advisor.
Yeah, so I want to be an attorney, like I said, and be a sports and entertainment lawyer. Be an agent, and just see where basketball takes me, but know what's next for me. Being a sports agent.
Best show that you are watching right now.
That's crazy. I don't watch TV at all.
I'm not surprised. You're so damn busy.
I don't. I couldn't tell you the last show I watched. I couldn't tell you the last movie I watched. Like to get me to sit down and watch anything is very, very difficult. I work out, I eat, sleep, go to school, lots of homework, and go to a lot of meetings.
Man, the life of an athlete, a student
That's it.
athlete.
You got to sacrifice some stuff, to get to where you want to be. You got to sacrifice, the fun stuff sometimes.
You do. But then you get to live the fun stuff
True. I
once
mean,
you
we
get
got the
there.
college tournament next week, so hopefully we can go and make a lot of noise.
Yeah, by the way.
How's our season going?
Yeah.
I mean, we started out hot, then we got on a losing streak, but we're turning it around now. We're getting hot at the right time. So hopefully we can go into this tournament. Get 2 wins. We play tomorrow, and then we play Friday. Or we play what's today? We play Wednesday and Friday. I'm losing it. Hopefully we go and win both of those, and then go into the tournament. And start winning, because it doesn't matter who was good 2 months ago, 3 months ago. It's about who's good now. Going into the tournament.
Now, my college basketball, everything about college basketball has just been in a blur because I haven't
Mhm.
watched it as much as I should have been watching it, like how I was doing last year. What conference is Arkansas State in?
The Sun Belt Conference.
Okay, so
It's a
I
really good
know
conference.
I know that I think every conference winner they get a bid
To the
into
tournament.
March Madness, right?
They do.
So let's say you guys get to the tournament championship, but you lose. Do you think you have a strong enough resume to get into March Madness?
I sure hope so. I'm not really sure how it goes. I'm just a freshman, so
Yeah.
um, I think if we can do that, I think we'll go ahead. If we make the finals, I think we'll win it. I never want to be second, so I mean, I think we'll win it.
You got
I got trust in my guys. I trust my guys. We make it to the finals. We'll win it.
because I want that'd be pretty cool. I'd be like, oh,
You see me on
I
March
interviewed that
Madness.
guy. Like that guy. That's a pretty cool guy.
That's the goal for sure.
Yeah, I want you to come back on after if you make the tournament
Mhm.
championship and you make it in the March Madness. I want you to do all activities, live through all the aspirations that you have hoped for that moment,
We'll
and
go. We'll go
then
live on Instagram together while I'm celebrating.
no, be the models just spray
That'd be so over. That'd be crazy.
But yeah, that was.
Yeah.
So it leaves us at two places. Either we sit here in awkward silence for like a minute, or we just we just continue.
Let's do some rapid fire questions. You come up
All
with
right, all right,
some rapid fire. We'll do it.
is John in the league right now?
Top point guard.
Top
Is that what you said?
in the league.
Yes.
Is the Memphis Grizzlies a championship contender?
Yes.
LeBron James or Devontae West?
LeBron.
Okay, okay, that.
Got me for that. Huh? I was so confused what you were gonna say. I was like, what?
Oh man, but whoever heard that, I hope you got what I was thinking about.
I
Anywho,
was so confused for a second. I got it now. I was
let's see. PlayStation or Xbox?
like, PlayStation. I used to be Xbox, but now PlayStation.
Best sports game.
2K.
What is your 2K build?
It's usually a sharpshooter. I haven't played it since October, so I really don't even remember. Whenever it came out, I played it for a week.
Greatest 2K of all time.
2K16.
I feel like you're a big country fan, so I'm gonna need you to give me your top 5 musicians of all time.
Luke Combs. Luke Combs. Luke Combs.
Mm.
Luke Combs.
Luke Combs.
Luke Combs.
Okay. Luke Combs or Luke Combs?
I'll take both of them.
That's a solid answer. That's a solid
done.
answer.
That's my guy.
Now, able to time travel into any decade, what decade would you go to and why?
I'm saying the present because I like living in the present.
Ooh.
I'll just stay here. I like where I'm at right now.
I see a little bit. That was smooth.
I like where I'm at.
That was smooth. Last question. If Michael Jordan came in and he was 24 years old, right? LeBron is also 24 years old, both in their prime. Who's winning that game? Game to 21, ones and twos.
Michael Jordan.
What's the final score?
Michael Jordan 21.
Okay.
LeBron 14.
All right. Now the last question: who won Mike Miller 2 championships?
LeBron James. Actually, Dwayne, not playing LeBron.
He's gonna come. He's gonna come on here one day. And he's
I'm
gonna
about to tag him in this video too.
He's gonna remember that. He's gonna be like, oh, 57-20, 57-27.
I gotta remember that. I'm gonna have to text him and tell him.
But yeah, it's always a pleasure.
Well, I appreciate you having me on the show, and everybody, I don't know, like it, whatever you could possibly do to support him, do it. He's doing a great show here, and I highly recommend all of y'all to tune in like I do once a week. Watch his podcast, or listen to his podcast. My bad.
Listen to it on all podcasting platforms, and you might as well watch this video because this video is going to be on YouTube. So you better like, comment, and subscribe. Also, go follow Hoodville. I'm going to manifest this. I feel like Hoodville is going to follow me sooner rather than later. So follow Hoodville too. But yeah, follow at 1497 Podcast on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. As always, you got to trust the process. I love Joel for saying that. Trust the process. And I'll be back on Friday. So yeah.
What are you going to have on Friday?
Friday? One. I don't know.
I'll have to make sure to watch or listen both.
I got you. Luke Combs. So I can't sing my heart away to Luke Combs as we end the show. So yeah, it's a shame. But have a great week, y'all. I'm out. Peace.